Yeah, the Montreal Screwjob. That was back in 1997. You know, I know what it is. I've I've kind of watched it before, but I didn't really look too much into the acting of it. So I'm gonna react to the Montreal Screwjob and give you my opinion. Was it a work? Does it look fake? I mean, I never actually looked too much into it. But there's a lot of different reasons why it could have happened. You know, maybe Bret Hart had some say that they did it because they wanted both companies to be equal in ratings and help put both companies out. Some believe that Bret Hart knew it was going to happen. Some believe it's the real deal. But I'm going to watch it and react to it and give you my thoughts on it. This is the Montreal Screwjob. I'm watching Survivor Series 1997. I'm not gonna lie though, the intro to Survivor Series 1997 was pretty good. Talking about Bret Hart going back to WrestleMania 12 when it went into overtime and Shawn Michaels and Bret Hart wrestled for an hour and then Shawn Michaels got the pin in the end. What a moment, what a moment. I do wonder though, what if Bret Hart never went to WCW? What storylines they would have had with him? He would have probably never got concussed by Goldberg. He would have had maybe a more memorable career in wrestling if he had stayed until like 2001, or whatever, during the whole WCW invasion. I just always wondered, what if he never went to WCW? I think also this was Steve Blackman's first, pay-per-view debut, if you're familiar with Steve Blackman. And Sable got a bigger pop than Mark Miro, of course. It's kind of funny to watch some of the matches. But the crowd's pretty good for this pay-per-view, honestly, even though it's a lot of elimination-style Survivor Series matches, but it's alright. And also, Owen Hart faced Stone Cold Steve Austin and defended his Intercontinental Championship against him. This was a big moment for Owen Hart, actually. Owen Hart almost ended Stone Cold Steve Austin's career, but he did shorten it. So, Owen Hart and Stone Cold Steve Austin was also a pretty good match. We miss you, Owen Hart. But man, so far this has been a pretty good pay-per-view, actually. A lot of memorable things happened, honestly. He's wearing the Owen 316 says I just broke your neck stuff. That was pretty classic. Yeah, but rest in peace, Owen Hart. We all miss you, man. But now getting to the Montreal Screwjob. The beginning of the match, Shawn Michaels, Rick Rude, Chyna, and Triple H are going to the ring. Wonder what they're thinking, They're really thinking, I know what's going to happen. Did Shawn Michaels know what was going to happen in the Montreal Screwjob? Shawn Michaels telling Triple H, I don't even know where to go. So I know wrestling is acting, but did they really know what was going to happen? Another thing I do wonder is, because Shawn Michaels was the European champion, what was the original plan really for Shawn Michaels to defeat Bret Hart if Bret wasn't going to go to WCW? Were they going to give Shawn Michaels both the European and the WWF Championship? Usually they don't go with having someone hold two belts at a time. So it makes me wonder, was the original, what was the WrestleMania 14 main event really going to be? I wonder. Because they had all their big matches before Bret went to WCW. So I kind of wonder about that too sometimes. I see a sign out in the crowd by somebody. It says, Bret Hart's going to WCW. Thanks for the memories. It's in pink and black. And Bret Hart being the WWF champion, wouldn't he have thought, oh, they're not going to let me take the title of WCW? They were also planning, the end of the match being, they all come out and then the pay-per-view ends. His family comes out and the pay-per-view ends. Did Bret Hart not want to drop the title in the first place? Did they think that Bret Hart wouldn't go with it? Or find a way to... They thought maybe they didn't trust Bret Hart to actually go with his word to drop the title to Shawn Michaels? Shawn Michaels didn't agree to nothing back then. Shawn Michaels was known for being a dick, so that's another thing to think about. Now during this match, it didn't even start till like maybe 6 or 7 or 8 minutes in the match. They're like fighting out in the crowd and fighting in the back, and all the referees and Sergeant Slaughter, he was a commissioner then, and everybody was out there. And Bret Hart's beating him with a fire hydrant and hitting him and stuff. As if everybody's there because they know they're going to do something. And then you see Vince McMahon standing right next to Bret and Shawn. And Vince McMahon's telling Bret Hart to get Shawn Michaels in the ring. Yeah, Bret Hart's hitting referees. Vince is telling Bret to get him to the ring, get him to the ring. Rewatching this, I'm now seeing these things. Vince just wants this to be over with. I'm watching the end of the match. Bret Hart does the side Russian leg sweep to Shawn Michaels. Earl Hebner is kind of being careful, it looks like. Bret Hart, low blow, Shawn Michaels. Earl Hebner's like holding his breath. Like this, wiping sweat from his mouth. Earl Hebner's being very cautious. Earl Hebner looks like he's just freaking out a little bit and panicking a bit. Shawn Michaels pulled Earl Hebner into Bret Hart. They're both down. Huh. He didn't want to call it a disqualification. They're like, shouldn't that be a disqualification? Shawn Michaels eye rakes Bret Hart. Now Shawn Michaels is putting him in the sharpshooter. Earl Hebner gets up right away. Earl Hebner just gets up. He gets up right away. And then Earl Hebner rang the bell. Earl Hebner just rang the bell. Earl Hebner's heading out. Earl Hebner, Bret Hart never tapped. But Bret Hart doesn't look like he's surprised or mad. Bret Hart didn't look like he was really surprised. He wasn't like, oh, what just happened? And Shawn Michaels and Triple H are leaving with Gerald Briscoe. They're saying, just go, get out of here. And the fans are throwing garbage everywhere. And Shawn Michaels is leaving. We don't want a riot to happen. And then JR just kind of ended the show. He just said, thank you for Montreal. JR just acted, didn't even look at it and say, look, he never even tapped. JR even played it cool. Like, no one really seemed, like, Bret Hart didn't seem surprised. JR played it off. I don't know. But to me, I think it was a work to me. Just the way they acted it out. I don't think it was the real deal. I think Bret Hart knew it was going to happen.